Hello, everybody, and welcome to a short little video here introducing Ultracube. Age of Cube, a mod by, I believe it's Grand Seekin? And I'm going to, there's going to be spoilers here, slightly. Okay, kinda. Yeah, there's going to be spoilers. At least up to the data cards you see here. All right. So if you wanted to, if you want to pick this mod up and play it, go ahead, play it now. Come back later. If you're interested in what this mod's about, up to just getting out of mid game, I'm not really sure what phase we're in here, but there are a bunch of cards here. It's using Factorio assets only, and AAI industry a little bit too. So what you see here is just the assets and vanilla assets as well. He just renames them and adds a really cool twist to it. One of them is this little cube. So I wanted to warn you all that if you want to play the mod, stop, go play it. It's a really fun mod. I'm having a blast. So let's go up to the top of the base, and I'll show you what this is all about here and my future plans. Oh, hi. With this situation here. All right. Well, this is where it all began, up around here somewhere. And this little cube right here, I'm going to drop it on the belt right here. Z. And the concept is you get one cube. That's it right there. And it's a catalyst which generates resources. And there are certain things that you have to supply, and then the cube becomes a catalyst to create a finished product or an intermediate. As you can see, it's going around, and the trick is logistics. Very tight, carefully planned logistics. As you can see, the cube is going around in a very, fairly tight circle here. And we have, a green circuit build here. The ratios are different. And there is, what looks like plastic bars here, maybe some hydrogen, rare earth metals over here, and some stone mining. We've got some goofy stuff over here, fluids, something. We got, looks like space science, but it's not. There's, this is tar, gelatinous tar, and this would normally be a Factorio 2 tile to walk on, but it is not. It is now a building material. The light and heavy oil icons are no longer. This is essential oils and refined tar. We have unstable gasoline. The red circuits here are renamed. They're advanced circuits. Okay, I never looked at those. There's motors that are used for science. I think have they been renamed? Advanced engine units. So some things haven't been renamed. They're kind of the same. And then we got the data cards. Now, this is as far as I've gotten in the mod. I haven't done any endgame stuff. I figure you're just now starting to poke into mid-game. Trains. So I just got my trains, and I'm probably going to stop here. And I'm going to do a special series on this particular mod here. And and you can see there's all the Factorio 2 cards. But they're all different. They're named different. This is abstract interrogation card. And then, we'll go over here. And then we have a fundamental comprehension card and then a basic contemplation card. So they've been renamed. Now, there are no biters right now. There's no warfare or wave defense. That is potentially coming later. I think the mod dev said something about there's no biters, they're disabled. So the pollution still is enabled. You might as well just knock that off too. And you know, if you want to play with cliffs, go ahead too. You can do that for an added challenge. So let's go through a few things here. What I'm going to do is start up some research. Now, this is a good one here to test your base. I don't know, it's infinite, but tool belt extension 8, and I've done a little bit of research here testing the base out, and it's a good one. Infinite research is really good for this because then you can see where your bottlenecks are, mainly the cube bottlenecks. So this one's 15,000 right now, so I'm going to go ahead and start that up. It'll probably finish up, who knows. There's some machines I'm looking at right now for future stuff planning. All right, now, excuse the spaghetti. It's a starter base, and also, you know, you have to learn, right? So I'm learning the mod. I'm trying to figure out the beginning game and all that, and I've done some rebuilding, some reconfigurations and stuff. Now, the reason there is spaghetti is because of this. Right here, let's see, I think, let's click on this one here. So this one is a research. It's requiring all these cards. And you'll notice that new research options are available in the technology tree after this research is completed. That's why I said there's going to be spoilers here. You're seeing one now. And you don't know what's ahead. I don't know what's ahead, and I'm not going to look for spoilers. I'm going to experience the mod as I go here, but that's why I'm stopping now, because I'm going to do a speed up, like a Dashington video on this. So look for that. Maybe, I don't know when. Depends on when I get it done. I've never done one before, so I don't know. No time frames on that. But I got to collect all the footage, build the base. This way I could just go and not have to stop, start, you know, and wait for renders and things like that. So I'm going to do it that way. So the tech tree is hidden from the player, and that makes it fun. So as this cube thing is really fun, and it's really about efficiency, and you have to do a lot of combinator stuff. I'm probably going to be pushing myself a little bit. Oh, another thing I want to mention, LTN, Logistic Train Network, and Train Supply Manager, TSM, are not working for this mod. However, CyberSyn, the Project CyberSyn is. And I ripped it up. So I have the cybernetic combinator here to control trains. So I have to learn this in order to, you know, move stuff around. However, there might be a way around that, because this mod it's not meant to be a mega base mod. It's not huge, crazy amount of resources being funneled through and all that. It's about cube travel efficiency and a little bit of complexity. Well, you know, a fair amount of complexity. You want to get this cube moving around and it has to interact with just about everything. So where it all begins here is the rare earth. And you'll notice that I'm using efficiency modules in my miners. I usually don't care, because you could spam power down in Factorio, vanilla, and other mods, you know, other overhaul mods. Once you get a good power system, you can just copy paste it. Well, that's not the case here. Your cube is power, and there are better power options as you go. So they're like ages. Those when you research a technology at the very end there, it unlocks all this new tech, and that new tech, it really has to be implemented, or else you're gonna be in trouble keeping everything running smoothly and whatnot. You could even brown out on your power. Oh, I can get rid of this here. So that cube is your power. So let's go over that really quick, because that's really the heartbeat here of this whole thing. Now, the first power system you get is this boiler. And notice how there's some different cubes that you can put in here. You've got the Ultra Dense Utility Cube. I haven't done this one yet. The Ultra Dense Combustion and the Phantom Ultra Dense Constituent. I haven't put that in here. I don't know what that does. But I have done the utility cube, obviously, because that's what we have. And right now, I'm on condensed fuel. And the condensed fuel is the second phase of power that you can get. And then the next one is nuclear power. So I'm going to be moving towards that. Well, the next thing would be to move towards that. And that's a whole crazy thing, too. But once you get it, you get it. So, as you can see here, I've got, these are fuel refineries from AAI. So, space exploration and all that. Arendelle. And you'll see that the cube will come in here, and you have to supply it sulfur and unstable gasoline, and it pops right out. And then you get your fuel, and you get 50. Now, the other recipe, the beginning one, the cube sits in here, and it'll boil the water, and it takes a very long time. About a minute or two, maybe a minute and a half or so. So that, your cube recipe early on is very inefficient. It takes time consuming. However, this recipe here is much faster. So you get your cube back right away with this recipe. Now, there is a little catch, and I screwed up on this build here. After the fact, I figured something out. So we need gelatinous tar. Gelatinous. Yeah, gelatinous. I think it's gelatinous. So the way you get that is wood and sand and steam. And then you get the tar. Then you got to break it down or crack it. And then you get this refined tar and the essential oils. Now, there is a cool little thing where if you build up on either one of these, you do have a reverse cracking where you can combine the two oils back into the gelatinous tar. And then kind of get it cycled back. Now, this particular process here, I don't mind building up on this, like heavy oil looking stuff, the tar, refined tar. So what I'm looking for is sulfur and the unstable gasoline. Now, you have to use tanks as more or less sensor tanks so that you can control the flow of everything here. And that's the theme throughout the whole mod here. Now, I'm trying to build up some solar or accumulators. So that's why this is here. Accumulator, or you need batteries. Batteries require sulfuric acid, and this rare earth metals there, ingots or whatever. So the gasoline and the sulfur together are piped up here. Now, I gotta flip this around in my next build of this, but this is gonna go away anyway. So that's how you get your fuel. Now, you don't want your cube going long distances if it's not necessary. So that's why I've got all these combinator wires, these green wires everywhere. So this here is sensing the fuel value, or fuel amount, in this case right here. And I jerry-rigged in a second machine to get more fuel per thing. So what happens is the cube goes in, and it gets exported, and you can export it into the next machine. So you can daisy chain, which is really fun. So then I got to export it out, and here's where it exports from, or to here. Now, this inserter here is sensing if I need tar in the tank. So you have you're going to have wires going everywhere, right? And if right now I need tar, so it's at 347. Now, notice now here. Okay, so the fuel just depleted in the case. Now I've got this inserter active. And what's really cool is you press K on your keyboard, and you can follow your cube, and there it is. So now notice, see how it passed right on in, and it's very fast. Now it's coming out, and this inserter is off. It's a toggle. And it comes down here, and this is a long path. That's why I want this up there. So then it cooks it, and then you have to recharge your cube. Some instances, some recipes require a charged cube, and they will discharge. Then you have to recharge your cube. And it's easier to keep the cube charged. Now notice how this machine grabbed the cube and popped it back out. That's one of those recipes there, where it just needs the cube as a catalyst, an energy catalyst, to produce whatever it is in there. There is an exception. Now up here, let's go over this real quick. So this is basic matter replication. They're like plastic bars, you know, renamed. And these are your basic building blocks for everything. So when you need this for science, for, you know, circuits, for everything. So this is a pass-through, basically. Grab the cube, few seconds in, pops it out. That's why these are efficiency modules. You can't put prod in these. And they suck a lot of power. 30 megawatts, you know, a piece. So I put efficiencies in here. Now, these machines, these are ultra-dense furnaces. And they only require the cube as a catalyst. They don't draw power from the network. So you might as well speed these up. Also, the rechargers. These are the recovery bays. And you want to speed them up, but you also want to kick the efficiency down a little bit. So you don't want to go up too much. So my crafting speed is 60%. However, the power is only up a little bit, 40%. But you want these charging bays fast enough so that you can get the cube moving along. So you gotta kind of take a hit somewhere. So what's going on here? This is the second recipe in the line. What happened? Originally, you just make the plastic bars and you're done. This is a what is it? This one here. What happens is the bars are taken in, and then you are creating it's a gel, replication gel. So you have a catalyst here. So your matter goes in as a catalyst to produce more the gel, and the gel creates even more bars now, plus the cube, plus steam. So this is the secondary, the next level up in the tech tree. And you really need to upgrade, like I said, because your base can't keep up. You know, after a while, you start getting more and more demands on your base. So these recipes are kind of necessary. Now, future-proofing is very difficult because if you don't know the mod, you're not going to know what's coming up. And now, basically, you're ripping and replacing. That's why there's a lot of spaghetti here, because I've been ripping and replacing and goofing around with that. So let's look at this here. So there is, you get to a certain point. Well, let's talk about the mining. We're mining up the raw rare earth metals. Yes. And then the first recipe you have is basically take the rare metals and smelt them into ingots. Now, this is kind of a weird, the recipes are kind of weird. We have 500 to 250, so a 2-to-1 ratio on that. So we're losing, whatever, it's fine. It's a 2-to-1. But you have to charge your cube every time it pops in and out. So right here is 1,000 ingots. Every time the cube comes in, it's 250, 250, 250, 250. And again, speeding these up is better because you get your cube in and out quicker. And then also you want to efficiency module and speed these up. Get a little speed out of it, which also want to keep your power down a little bit. This is the second recipe in the tree, which is it's taking the refined rare earth metals and it's a 1-to-1. So what's involved in that is crushing. So we got our crushers here. And this recipe here returns stone and calcium. And this is where it kind of gets tricky because we're at a point, I'm at a point here where I'm producing more calcium than I can consume. So I have to have a switching unit here. So if I have calcium, and you can see here, I have 2,800 calcium and 100 and some odd ingots. I don't know where my cube is. And you'll see that this inserter is on and this one is off, and these combinators are controlling this. Now, if I have 3,000 or more calcium, then this inserter will trigger on and this one will trigger off. so that you see how it's going that way. Now it's in there, it's cooking, and this thing is quick. It's whoom. So this is if I need calcium and ingots. This side here is if only I need ingots, but it's not as efficient. But I still get 1,000. It's slower, but I still get 1,000. So this is an interim build here. And then the calcium comes over here, and I'm sensing this case here. So you can see I'm got 2,800 in there. And then the stone gets repurposed and turned into sand. Sand gets turned into glass, and glass is used for all this process, which I'm not going to go over here. This is just, you know, creating a vial for the next science. And then we need, oh, and this is a secondary tar build. I wanted this tar build separate from the power so that I can kind of manage it a little better. But there is a better tar recipe I haven't implemented yet where you need coal. So that's why I have to get immersite, which I'm not sure what it's called in this mod here. But the next phase is to mine another item. I think here. So yeah, deep core powder. So it's changed. Here's some right here. So we need deep core ore. You crush it. You get coal and stone out of this process, as well as the deep core powder. And out here is a deep core ore deposit. And you have to start mining that for the next science. And then you use the byproducts from that, which is the coal, to make better tar processing, which is up here. Then at that point, your tar can be used for power and or this process here. You're going to need more oils and things eventually, more of this stuff. So your power you'll start to do nuclear power, and your tar processing will become something different. So it'll be dedicated to the gasoline and this stuff here. It's called elbow grease. I thought that was the coolest thing. And a very creative naming of items. I really love this mod. It's freaking fun. I love the names. So yeah, the tar processing, there's I think it's like 70,000 tar or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm not going to go into all the details, you know. So down here we have a red circuit build, the electric motor build, and then this card here, the abstract interrogation. And then we have our labs over here. I popped one off because it was too much. So this is exactly what I have. I have about 34 cards around there a minute consumption. So I'm okay with that. And this is just a starter base, so I'm not really worried about it. So eventually this is going to turn into a hub temporarily until I get, you know, well, I'm not going to carry on with this save here. It's going to be a brand new save from the start. So I think that's, oh, and then let's cover this over here. So for power, there are accumulators, and that's it. You don't get solar that I know of. I don't know if there's solar. So I got a bunch of accumulators, and this is it's a shock absorber right now. So when something really draws a lot of power, you want it available for the whatever's kicking on. And these things over here, this stuff here, that is like 50 megawatts or something, or maybe more. I don't even know. Let's see. Wait a minute. That is here. That stuff I had in my intro. Dimension folding engine, 250 megawatts. Yeah. And I think on my network, 79. So, yeah, that thing, you need to get your power up. That's why I'm stopping, because I'm like, well, that's a big undertaking. So I might as well do that in my series that I'm going to do. Hopefully it's going to be 1 or 2 episodes. I'll speed up all narration. The other thing I've noticed is that you do need to do inline pumps for some reason. I don't know what the mod dev did to the water. Like the pipe, there's a big drop. And you'll see that I have no fuel here right now. Oh, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Here. Yeah, working. Okay, see how quick that was? Working. Look at the water drop. Wham. Wham. So notice how it's... I was getting a water shortage. And then when I did the inline pumps, because I saw it, and that fixed it. So just be aware, if you do pick this mod up, you will have to do inline pumps for water. At least that's what I've seen. Usually Factorio pipes, they equalize unless you pressure it with a pump. So on input output. Now, what's going on here is everything has to be sensed. So right now I'm at 200,000 steam. And this one here, this inserter, will activate and put fuel in when the steam drops to 200,000 or 199. As you can see, it's pretty active right now. It's cooking along. So a lot of power. Look at these, all these are running. Now, another thing about this mod that I found is that you want to centralize your production. You don't want to have, you know, production everywhere. So the only exception that I have is the tar production for the fuel processing here on and up here. I wanted that separate to test it. This tar processing here is for the sciences. So this will run only when it's needed. However, when it comes to cube efficiency, the travel, you'll notice that I have to come all the way down here to do my power, and then go up and all the way down here for the sciences. And if this was all combined into one build, which it could be, I could fix this all and, you know, do it right. But this is learning. I'm learning the mod. You know, that's kind of how I'm learning it. So this tar processing will have to be all combined, and I eliminate an entire path of travel for the cube. And that's what's key about this. And it's really fun. I really enjoy it. So this machine, this recipe right here is an exception I wanted to cover too. Notice that you need a dormant ultra dense cube, and it outputs the ultra dense cube as well. So this process here has to be nearby something that depletes the cube. And the tar processing here does that. So when you put, let's see, what is this here? Yeah, the gelatoius. I should Google that and see what the pronunciation is. So apologize for butchering it. And yeah, so this depletes the cube. And that is another rub with this mod, is that you have to figure out the best place to put machines such that they will complement each other. So an output of one saves the, you know, like for example, this one depletes the cube, and this one here needs a depleted cube, but you also need to charge it on its out so it can be used for this next process, which is here. Oh, this is the AI core, but it's called a widget replication. I love it. So this one needs a charged cube to operate, and it kicks out a discharged cube. So I have a charger right here to handle that. So yeah, lining up your machines in such a way that they're going to be used effectively, efficiently is key. And that's where it's kind of fun to try and get, oh, I gotta get this tighter, gotta get this tighter, gotta get this tighter. So I'm spending time. Let me tighten this up over here. Let me tighten this up over here. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do this. And as you're going, you're learning how this whole process goes. Oh, look, see, there's a little travel. See this traveling over here. It's pretty quick though. So now it comes out, it's depleted, it's poofing. Boo! It's like an 8-bit boo. So now, if this is needed, and it is, I've got these two daisy chains here. And then it goes to here and charges. So now, and it carries on. And then this thing is needed because it's got a little bit on the belt there. So, oh, and some machines, because of the Factorio assembly machine behaviors, you do have to kind of shut inserters off on some, and others you don't. For this machine here, if there is material on the output, right, the inserter won't grab any new materials. So that's a behavior for that. Now, if you go up to this machine here, it will grab the cube and sit here, even if the output has, you know, material in it. So you have to kind of know which machines are going to do it and which ones aren't. And then, and that's why these inserters are controlled, because I don't want the inserter to grab it, because then the cube's sitting in there and the factory is gonna shut down, you know, basically. So, and that's why if you press K on your keyboard, there's your cube, and you can maximize this window, and you got a cube cam, and you can watch your cube, you know, kind of go along, and that's what I used for my intro. This is so cool. I highly recommend this mod to anybody who is, I mean, even if you're not an efficiency nut, you know, and you enjoy that, this mod is fun just to kind of screw around with it up to this point. I've been having a blast with it, trying to, you know, figure out how the best way to do stuff, and the recipes are fun to figure out too. So anyway, there it goes. There's a little circle. Now that, see, notice how the inserter is green, and, you know, the light was green. I do have a control on there not to grab it, because if there is no material in the machine, it will sit there and wait. So you do have to control the grabbing of it, even though it should be grabbed, quote unquote, but there's no material. Like, there could be a shortage there. So notice how it went by. So let's get out of this here. Close it there. You can press K to toggle that. K on your keyboard. So K. It toggles, and or you can maximize the window, and then you close it with the. Well, I guess you could go K, and then you maximize, and then press K, and it shuts it off too. So this one here, I have a buffer chest, and it's got 200 inside here. Notice how it's pulling it in. So this recipe here requires 200. It's going to grab 600, 3 crafts. Now, the assumption here on this inserter here, if I have material in the chest, most likely I've got material in here. Now, I could buffer this up to 600 and then say, oh, don't run. This inserter shouldn't work unless there's 600 in here, but it's been working for the most part because I have the ore processing kind of squared away right now. So chances are, though, I'm going to have the material in here. I'm going to have, all you need is 200. So my assumption is by saying 10, I'm assuming I've got at least 200 inside the machine here. So I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this little overview of this mod here. And again, it's called Ultracube: Age of Cube. And it's by Grand Syken. I'll try and put something on the screen here so you guys can see, what it looks like. So go to the mod portal, definitely get it. Be aware, though, again, LTN and TSM do not work with this mod. And I've got CyberSyn. I'm going to try and learn that. If not, I'm just going to do point-to-point trains or whatever. And then there'll be a dedicated cube train. So you don't have to... You don't want your cube to be, flopping around out there. You don't want to use trains like LTN to pick the cube up, come from a depot, pick it up, and drive it somewhere. You really have to have a dedicated cube train. And the reason for that is there is a research that speeds this train up eventually. So it's unlocked later. And this train will be a lightning train. So you want to talk about fast delivery? It's faster than a belt. I mean, I think there's 60 speed belt in this mod here as well. I think Factorio 2 has the 60. And the train is probably 10 times faster than that. In the video, you'll see how fast it is. So once you get on trains, holy crap, it's gonna be like zip, 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 zip. So you'll be fine. Now you have to plan your route, and you might want to shut stops off that aren't needed. I have to play around with that. So anyway, I better stop talking. I love this mod. It is amazing. It's fun. I highly recommend it. Go play it right now. So again, hope you enjoyed. Peace out.